Okay, so I have my two friends, Katrina and Tia, here, and I have presented my website to them, and I have shown them all about my country, my adopted country, Bhutan. I've talked to them about globalization and the Millennium Development Goals, and we're just going to record our discussion about it and all the things that we talked about. Okay, so first we are going to talk about globalization. So what did you guys feel like you learned about globalization?
Well, I didn't know what globalization was at first. So I found it very interesting about how in general, like how businesses interact and how it changes over
Um, about globalization, I think that especially us in America, sometimes we're a little bit blinded because we're kind of in this a little bit secluded world of our own where we have lots of amenities just like at our fingertips, and a lot of times we don't realize how unconnected or I guess underdeveloped you could say other countries are, and how it how it is such a different life in other places, and that we take our development for granted.
Okay, so let's talk about the Millennial Development Goals. What are y'all thoughts on how appropriate and successful they have been, and what would you suggest for the future?
Well, according to what Stephanie has told us and what we've learned about her country, it seems like since they just barely kind of opened up to the rest of the world in the last few decades, it seems like they're on a pretty good track business wise and developing with like connecting to the rest of the world. I think maybe just keep up the good work, and honestly, I feel like I don't know, creating alliances with other countries with bigger business opportunities and things like that really just makes an economy and a country just boom.
I feel like the goals are achievable. They're something that you can have done in a certain set amount of time. So they're very reasonable goals, and I agree with
I think they're really appropriate. I think they're appropriate for not just like my country, but for every country out there. Like even like America, we still have some of these problems, and it's something that I think everyone should be um, working towards. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the development dollar. I told them about how Brother Wilson gave us each a dollar at the very beginning of the semester, the first day, and how we were supposed to put it towards our country and something that is beneficial to our country. So my country, you've probably seen my Millennial Development Goals report, has a problem with educating women at a tertiary level. So one thing that I did was I obviously wouldn't be able to donate my dollar to someone in Bhutan wanting to get an education, but I did donate it to one of my roommates, who's a woman, trying to get a tertiary education, and she will be able to be out there and show that women can get education. And didn't want to give it to myself as a woman getting educated, but there are many women getting educated, and I feel that once you put that dollar towards it, it is a dollar. Towards dollar was that. Okay, so what direction would you have the next United States president take on global development for the United States?
As much as I love these goals, I think that in our own country we have a lot that we need to figure out as well. And I would honestly like for him to almost withdraw a little bit until we get our life in order, until we get our economy figured out and our problems fixed. And that way we can help. I don't feel like we necessarily have an obligation. I think it's nice. We can maybe like donate to other charities or stuff, or like
we don't necessarily have the money to donate. We're in debt.
It's true. So I don't like. I'm not saying like the country as a whole. I'm saying we can like
on an individual basis.
Yeah, on
globalization 3.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, like the Millennial Development Goals are not just something that these smaller countries are fighting towards. It's something that we should all be fighting towards. So did you have anything to say about the United States president?
Yeah, well, I think that we have some okay systems to kind of encourage that, which would be, like a little bit of, like tax exemptions and stuff, depending on how much you've donated to charities that year, or if you have, at the beginning of every tax year, that can be an incentive from the government. But as far as far as government action goes, externally for globalization for the country, I feel like maybe part of globalization and really showing that we're a developed country is being financially secure, and at this point in time as a country we are not. So this needs to be really internally handled. But
Okay, interesting. So, what innovations in your field would be most beneficial to my adopted country at the time?
Well, I'm a business management major with emphasis in marketing, so I think that just going there and showing them that like how they can market their business and make money would help a lot, so that they can realize that as a female in the business world, you can do things, you can stand on your own, and you can make a difference that you want to make.
Okay. So my major is special education, and I feel like that it's definitely something that that WUCON could use, not just in special education, but just educating women in general, and being educated women and showing them that it's possible, and helping them find ways that it'll be possible for them, because obviously we're in different situations. So I feel like I would, if I were to go over there and to help out with that, that's something I would be definitely very strong in pursuing, is education for women.
I'm a communications major and I'm studying advertising. So, kind of like what Tia was saying, I think it would just probably the movement in the direction that it needs to go now is just moving past the very beginning stages of producing and selling, and so the business can become more of a complete puzzle, and it just takes time in a developing world, and then after that they start connecting more with other countries, and then advertising becomes a key role. So I feel like it kind of get a little farther before I'm needed, but
right. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for discussing this with me, and thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you learned a lot about WUCON, and that you will be able to raise awareness for all of their needs and for all that they're going through right now. So thank you guys for watching.